Hi, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snowell, and they call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions. And we travel the world for past, present, and future stars. And coming to you live from the city of Las Vegas, Nevada, where big time boxing is at. And we got a special guest, a ring announcer, Miss Rico. Rhyan Rico, welcome into the World Boxing Review. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Aaron. Good morning from Las Vegas. My name is Rhyan Neco, just so you all know. You know what? It's funny because I have so many people that say Rhyan Rico,
Uh
and it makes me feel kind of like gangster a little bit or something, you know? I don't know. That
huh.
Rico hit different.
Well, first of all, we'd like to thank you for waking up so early in the morning to be on the show. It's to my understanding you're out there covering a boxing match. What match are you covering while you're out there?
Got it. I'm going to a matchroom, a DAZN matchroom show. It's Connor Ben versus Pete Dobson. And yeah, it's gonna be a good card. I really like the athletes that are on that card. Like I'm really interested to see that main event. But Austin Williams is on the card. There's a big hitter named Khalil Cole on the card. So it's a lot of like up and coming boxers on the card, but that have made a name for themselves to be on live TV, so or streamed live. So I'm just excited to be around boxing. That's the goal.
Yeah, look, give us, since you mentioned that card and you're a ring announcer, give us a off the cuff, without no plan, because I know you can do it because you've done it for me many times at the International Boxing Hall of Fame, where I first met you. You did it for a little girl. Give us a little pitch about that card, at like a ring announcer type thing. What you do in the ring?
Um, all right. So
All right, come on with it.
okay, off the cuff, eh? So
Yeah,
let's
off the
see.
cuff.
Uh-oh, we're cutting off. Can you hear me?
Yeah, keep going with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. And now we introduce our boxers. Standing in the red corner, all the way from the United Kingdom, that is Ilford, Essex, United Kingdom, standing at 150 pounds. Here is Connor, the Destroyer Ben.
Bless your heart. But Miss Rico, how did you? What inspired you to become a ring announcer? First of all.
Really, it was just trying to be as close to the fight as I could be. So what happened was it was 2021. I gained weight from being like in the house in COVID, not doing anything. And I live in Detroit. I mean, I'm out here in Las Vegas right now, but I live in Detroit and I'm born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. So I grew up playing basketball and volleyball and team sports. So usually I could say, "Hey, coach, can I get in the gym and we can run it full court?" That kind of thing. But in Detroit, I don't have those kind of connections. So I was trying to figure out what do I play? What do I play? Um, one on like by myself.
Right.
So boxing is a sport that it led me to boxing. I know that routine and that workout is strenuous. So I figured, well, why not try? But so that's really what happened. I started working out and getting in shape in a boxing gym in like a boxing gym where people take that seriously. Like boxing is their lifestyle. So I didn't know, I basically went to the pinnacle of gyms and it was on and popping from there. I started getting into shape. I started wanting to learn how to be good at boxing. um, and so so in studying it, I needed to be around it and watch it in person all the time. And basically, it was too expensive to go to the fights out here in Vegas, to
Uh-huh.
fly to buy a flight to Vegas, buy a hotel, buy a ticket to the fight. So I started pay-per-viewing a lot of fights. And I'm watching Jimmy Lennon Jr. on TV. And I'm like, well, maybe I can do that. Like I've got some stage experience. I've got some a lot of voiceover experience because those were the things I was into, narrating audiobooks, all kind of things like that. So I was just trying to make the skills that I already had overlap so that I could get closer to the sport.
Yeah, well, you mentioned all-time great Jimmy Lennon Jr. And his father, Jimmy Lennon Sr. Both of them were dear friends of mine. And
Okay.
I seen you on a Showtime event at the International Boxing Hall of Fame with Jimmy Lennon. I think you did the whole undercard and he did the main event. Is that right?
That's right.
Talk
That's
a
right.
little bit about that experience with all of those great Hall of Fame fighters and people that are in the Hall of Fame, from Hall of Fame trainers and managers and boxing organization executives were there for that. Talk a little bit about that, your
Uh, so,
experience.
so the experience was that whole that stint of time. So that was early June of 2023, and that's my birthday time, right? So it was like
Right.
I was being gifted. So I was on a high that whole trip to New York. So basically, my experience was wow. Like it was like a realization, like how when you've been working for something and then you see, like,
Right.
a lot of times we don't celebrate the progress, but that event was so eye-opening, where it was like, "Oh, this is progress right here. You are dealing with you are working next to the man who gave you the idea, just by watching him. Um, you are living in that moment. Like, this is a full circle moment right here." And so meeting Jimmy, I mean, Mr. Jimmy was, you would think that he was like your uncle or something. He's really, really just a really nice man overall.
Yes, he is. Yes,
And
he
willing,
is.
yeah, and just like willing to share, um, willing to give you advice, giving me pointers. He told me that it was one of the decisions was a majority decision. And he complimented me on the way I gave the decision, which was huge for me. It was small to him maybe, but that was tremendous for me. So everything that weekend was tremendous. But what I was, to be honest, what I realized that Hall of Fame weekend was how much I didn't know about boxing. I do this because I love to watch people box.
Right.
But there's another side where you need to research the history, who came before you. Why are these people so special? Why are these people like hugging on each other and loving each other so much? Oh, because they have 30 years in this sport together. So it was just a tremendous time, and something where you can learn. There's research to do afterwards. There are people like you to meet. So it was an unforgettable experience, and I hope to be back this year.
Oh, okay. Well, Jimmy Lennon is quite the character. I know Jimmy for a long time, and his father.
Yeah,
Father did a lot of championship fights, big fights, like Jimmy does the big fights. Jimmy Lennon had an exclusive deal with Showtime Championship Boxing.
yeah.
As an African American woman, and we want to thank everybody. This is Black History Month. uh,
Mhm.
you're making history. You're paving the way for other uh, African American females because I haven't seen a ring announcer who was African American.
Okay.
I believe you're the first, and I've been around the game a long time.
Okay. Well,
How does that make you feel? That you got inspired by somebody and you're inspiring other people, like that little girl that was in the lounge there that you did that for, and that was kind of you. to do such a thing like that, you know. But well, how does that make you feel that you're inspiring other people or other women to get in the game, because women's boxing is so large now?
Yeah. Um, it makes me feel rich. Like rich,
Well, you are
rich,
rich.
rich in spirit, because it's it's one thing, to move people negatively or move people to do things that are harmful. But then there's another thing that, will move people to keep a sport alive and to keep, just to keep a tradition going that makes people money, that saves people's lives. So I think that, I mean, one, it's it's cool to hear you say that I am inspiring people. I haven't, had someone come up to me and say, "Oh, Miss Ryan, I wanted to be an announcer because of you." That so to hear you say that, it's like, wow, maybe I am doing that. And to think that I am is really cool. And I mean, it just motivates me to keep getting better at the craft and to keep rocking and rolling.
Yeah, well, ring announcing's a tough job, uh, because you're the one who gets in the ring knowing the outcome after the judges has gained, and how you deliver it to the fans and stuff like that, or around the world, when you're on TV and stuff, has an effect immediately on the people in the event.
Hmm.
Um, what kind of pressure do you feel when you get up there?
How do I put this? The pressure is before the show starts. Once I'm in the show, given the decision, the decision is the part you can't prepare for, right? But
That's right.
because you've prepared because you prepared yourself for how to read these different decisions, whether it's a split decision or a unanimous decision or a majority draw or whatever, you've gone over how to read those. So at that point, you're going over it with the commissioner, or the inspector. And I don't know, there's not much pressure because you've already prepared on how to read it, on how to read those decisions. And then you I love to, I don't go over a single decision without talking to the inspector first. I make sure everything on that scorecard is what it's supposed to be. And so
Right.
because of that, there's not much pressure. It's more fun for me. It's more of a rush.
Right.
So, um, and because I've already practiced it with the inspector, hey, this judge says this judge says this judge says this, and the winner is this by this. And they go, yeah, then it's fun time now. Now it's time to make the audience wait. Now it's time to make everybody wait. Just for a little bit to build some anticipation. So, um, I wouldn't call it pressure. The pressure for me is that nervousness before the show begins. Like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
hello, happy Saturday, or however, once you say that, it's on and popping.
Well, everybody, most ring announcers have a cliche or their own style. Michael Buffer was "Let's Get Ready to Rumble." Jimmy Lennon was
It's
"It's
showtime.
showtime."
Yeah.
You know, and what is yours? Have you come up with one yet?
No, in these 2.5 years, I still haven't found something that lands. Um, I need to First off, I think that this year I'm gonna really try to push to find my saying, my quote. Um, so I'm gonna be working some shows in February and March. But I don't know. I don't know it yet. I don't want to like force something and then just go with it. I want it to
Come
come
naturally.
naturally. But
Yeah.
shoot, I guess if it's gonna take 10 years to get to do it, I might have to
No,
force myself.
I don't think so. I think you're very seasoned, uh for excuse me, for the mountain. of time that you've been doing. I just heard you say 2.5 years. That was going to be my next question.
Hmm.
You seem very polished, very comfortable when you're inside the center of the ring, getting ready to announce it. And
Okay.
for most people, that takes a lot of time. But it looks like you're 10 years ahead of your time.
Wow, you think so, huh? Thank you. I
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what what's his name with the WBO was saying. Remember, that's how I met you. With the
Oh,
ratings chairman from
Porfirio.
what's that?
Dr. Porfirio, Betegon.
Yeah, Doctor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That's I meant to ratings chairman for the WBO. He felt the same way when he was there talking. He felt you were 10, 12 years ahead of your time
Oh man.
because of the way that you're very comfortable, you're very poised. Has I seen you in Florida working with Bob Alexander too? Has he given you any timber? For the listening audience, Bob Alexander is a ring announcer. He's vice president of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, and I seen you and him working together. Has he given you any tips?
Oh man, Bob Alexander is giving me all the tips. That's the name of that's my
He's a good
mentor.
guy.
Yeah, that is the mentor for me. He really has helped me so much and um giving me opportunities to be he's putting me in the ring. Like boxing I see is competitive, right? I mean, not just the sport, but the business in general. It's competitive. So I'm learning, but to have somebody like Bob not see me as competition and more so just be willing to help is tremendous. And I think that it set the tone for me to make sure that, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna keep doing this. So when it's, when I get older, or when I'm, when I have had my years and time in, that's the only thing I want to do is give it back, and pass the buck forward. So I think that he set that tone and that precedence before I even started to um, get booked for gigs.
Hmm.
So that is, the biggest thing. I think the most important thing and the coolest thing that he's instilled in me is to, hey, like, make sure you pass the book forward. Like, and make sure you keep doing a good job and make sure you practice, make sure you are prepared before you get out there. Um, so Bob Alexander, shout out to you. He is a Hall of Fame ring announcer. He's been doing it for almost 30 years, if not. So,
Yeah, yeah. Bob's been doing it a long time. He's a good guy, and has anyone like the Zone or who promoters who have network deals? Have they approached you yet?
I have not been approached. No. And what I am noticing is the big guys have their guy, right? So Matchroom, that's Eddie Hearn. He has David Diamante, who's put in years. The guy with the dreads. I don't know if everybody knows the
Oh
announcer.
yeah, I know David very well.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
David, and
from
he's
New
doing
York. Yeah. Hmm.
he's got it down, from the four corners of the world. And then you've got Mark Shunock, who's with Top Rank ESPN. So Top Rank's got their guy. Matchroom's got their guy. Showtime had their guy, Jimmy Lennon Jr. I don't think Golden Boy has their guy. So maybe there is a space for me to be their guy. No, answer is
I think there's always space because a lot of times guys who do are doing the main event ring announcing, they want to save their voice for the big show. And how
correct.
you get practice in season is doing the undercards of major shows. And I heard, you know, Eddie Hearns and Frank Warren, who uh, who promotes Tyson Fury. But a big announcement over in Saudi Arabia that Tyson Fury and Usyk fight is off
Yeah,
because of a cut, a
that quick.
lash uh, Tyson Fury suffered in sparring just the other day. So the fight is off indefinitely, which is big major news. It looked like everything was going all right over there in Saudi Arabia to this here. So it's a big punch in the boxing world because when the heavyweights, everybody was waiting for this big clash
Yeah.
of undisputed heavyweight championship fight again, and this happened. So wow, big news.
Yeah. It is big news. That was a big gash too. Speaking of big, that cut was that cut is pretty nasty. I don't know if you saw the picture of it, but it looks pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
we posted it. It looks bad.
it does. So I mean, it sounds like that's the name of the game. I have been conditioned to not believe a fight is gonna happen until like you see a press conference. And even then it's still nerve wracking. Like
Yeah,
until
until they climb in the ring and they touch gloves. That's what we all the time say. You just don't never know. It's
you never know.
the strangest things that have happened in boxing to postpone an event. And until them gloves touch and the bell goes ding for that main event, and it's something. But Nichelle, who's in the chat room,
Oh,
who helps me on the show. She's saying to you, don't give up, keep on going. God bless you.
oh,
You're
good
doing a
morning,
great job.
Nichelle Harris. Thank you.
Yeah, that's who it is.
What's up, my girl?
Yeah.
I didn't even see the chat. Okay.
Yeah, she said keep on going. You're doing a great job.
Thank
So
you.
big time to get on with a promoter or a network.
Oh, I would love
That's
to.
some of your dreams, correct?
Definitely. Yeah, that is like the pinnacle. That is the dream, as far as being a ring announcer is concerned. Um, but there's and no buts. That is the dream. There's just another
Hmm.
side too, right? Where I wanted to just make sure like I also really enjoy just being around the sport and talking to people like you, talking to the boxers that are up and coming, talking to the corner, talking to even on the amateur side. I mean, I announce at all the USA boxing national tournaments, so
Right,
I'm able to see the cream of the crop in the country. So
right,
So I guess what I'm getting at is, yes, I'm a ring announcer. That is my thing. That's my thing. I love it. But I also really
right,
love talking to people. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Casually Hardcore. And I've interviewed people from the likes of Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, heavyweights, up and coming heavyweights like Jared Anderson, Shakur Stevenson, Clarissa Shields, those those larger names in boxing. Um, and people who are 4 and 4 that show heart and start off their career fighting the best. So as long as I can be around the sport and eat, then I'm do that. But yes, ring announcing for a network, that is definitely the dream and the goal.
Yeah, well, you mentioned somebody, Shakur Stevenson,
Hmm.
just this past week. Big
Hmm.
breaking news with him. A major young star said he's retiring.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? What shocking news! I
It
think
is.
he'll be back. No sooner they get him, he either run out of money or they get him a real big fight. He'll be back.
I mean, it does seem like, because Shakur does a lot of, like, Shakur gives back to people. He pours into up and coming boxers. He pours into, people that are younger than him. Although he is young for me, compared to me, he is like an OG to some of these young guys. So being able to see him pour into those people and really just spend all that time that he does with them is really, really impressive. Um, so I'm saying that to say I don't know where his head is. There's definitely really talented people coming up under him. So I don't know where his head is. Is he serious? Is he not? I know that the boxing business is a thing. It's a thing for people. So I don't know where his head is. I don't want to say, oh, that's cap, or oh, he's he's gonna be back. I'm just gonna say that I hope he's gonna be back. He's one of the I don't think that he's a boring fighter. That's what
No,
they
he's an exciting fighter. He's definitely a superstar.
He is amazing. So, I mean, me as the fan of boxing, it's like, you can't quit. Shakur, what are you talking about? Like, whatever you got to go through it and come on back to us because we want to see you. We want to see the greatness that we know you have, that we've witnessed. So the fan part of me is like, come on, bro. Like, don't do it to us. We got to see it. But then there's another side that's like, well, if he's, mental health, that's a thing. That people got to be healthy. People got to be right. So whatever he's got to do to make sure he's healthy and to keep on pouring into the people that's coming up under him, then let him.
Well, if you were announcing Shakur Stevenson, give us a pitch if you were doing him. Tell him to come on back in your style, your ring announcing style. Come on.
Okay.
We got you on the spot again. Come on.
I see. I'm gonna have to start going to what you call that class? Anyway. The improv class.
Yeah, why not? Come on with it. Give it to Shakur. Come on back, Shakur. Come on.
Shakur Stevenson, we know there's no quitting you. We know that you are the man with the master plan. So if you will, don't quit on us now. Don't quit on us ever until it's time to retire. Come on back because we need you. I don't know.
Go ahead, Miss Ray. You're something else, boy. Let me tell you, you can, and that's what it takes to do it on. A lot of people listen to our show, and any promoters that are out there promoting an event looking for a ring announcer, how can they get in touch with you, Miss Ryan?
Yeah, so once again, I'm Rhyan Neco. You can get in touch with me via Instagram, via Facebook. It's Rhyan Neco, RHYAN _ Neco, or _ NECO. But yeah, I'm willing to do business. I'm pretty easy to work with, I would say. That's why a lot of people, I think, come back. So that has been like an indicator that I'm doing well when you get rehired to do things. I'll be doing a show in Florida, February 17th and 18th. Got a pro show in Detroit on the 2nd of March, show in St. Louis on the 15th of March. I'll be in Albuquerque for the USA Boxing Opens in March as well. So, I mean, I'm saying that to say people keep hiring me back. So,
that's because you do a good job and you're a professional. You're good at what you do. That's why they hire you back.
Yeah, right. But for the promoters that don't know.
Yeah, okay. For the promoters that don't know, you better be hiring her. Get her up. Be an opportunity employer. Give her a shot and let her go. And teamwork makes the dream work. Give her a chance. Give her an opportunity. Dreams only come true if you believe that they do. She's been dreaming for 2 years, and she's been 2 years making it happen. So she's definitely good at what she does. So give her a shot.
There's no improv when I'm I said there's no improv when I'm ring announcing. I do come prepared.
Oh yeah. Well, you see what up at the International Boxing Hall of Fame, I did the same thing with you up there with Doc. And you delivered it grand style and grand fashion there, and you delivered it grand style and grand fashion here. Yeah, But some other things that you're inspiring to do in the ring. Have you did MMA or anything like that?
I did my first MMA show this past December in Port Huron, Michigan. And that was a rush. Wow. That was really it was fun. I had a lot of fun. It was the MMA crowd seems to be a lot larger than these boxing crowds. So I don't know. I would like to try to be in part of the effort or to figure out how do we get boxing as big as MMA, I mean, it was packed to the
Yeah,
brim.
yeah, but it
And
depends what level you're on. You know what I mean? When it comes to the shows, uh, you know, the larger boxing shows are packed all around the world. You know, the
yeah,
club style shows in boxing are not that packed. But uh, until you get a hot prospect that local people know, and then they start coming out because of the local prospect, and you see on club style shows, that's how they
mhm.
start getting packed. But yeah, well, boxing's not dead; it's alive, and it's
Oh,
alive
I don't
all
think it's
around
going
the
any
world. What's that?
I said, "I don't think it's going anywhere at all," despite the narrative that we hear, it's definitely not going anywhere. I was just amazed at how many people came out to that club MMA show, um, versus the boxing shows that I've been doing. I was like, "Whoa." I really couldn't walk around this is a pretty large venue, but,
Yeah.
definitely a boxing fan. The MMA show was definitely a rush. It was cool, to see people get down like that. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
Who
I
I
mean,
want to ask you? Do you
mhm.
have a favorite fighter?
Um, I'm a Mike Tyson fan, like, for real,
Okay.
but it's more I like, it's the people's journeys outside of the ring that really get me tuned in, and so the more that I know about a fighter, the more intrigued I am, the more I know about them outside of the ring. So to see to me, he's done a complete 180, from when we were seeing him to now, and to actually meeting him in person. I've seen interviews where he was pretty vicious, especially to women, back in the
Yeah.
day. And then now when I met him, you could feel the calm. You could feel the just like the sincerity.
Mm.
And so that to me was really, really cool. Um, and he's a staple, like like a world renowned staple. So that story and and being able to see that from a little girl, because I haven't always, 2021 is when I got into boxing. So to be able to see,
Mhm.
but Mike Tyson, I've known Mike Tyson since I was little, so to see the 180 and to see the trajectory of what you were to what you can become as a person is really, really inspiring. So yeah, that's the
Yeah,
man.
yes it is. And he's the youngest undisputed heavyweight champion of all times. So that alone to have that kind of impact at a young age, a young man fighting grown men and knocking them out in the way that he did is just something amazing in
Oh,
itself. It tells what kind of champion he was.
yeah, you work close with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I trained him.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah,
I forgot about that until now when you're saying that. I'm like, oh wow.
yeah. You're right. When
Oh
he
wow.
was undisputed heavyweight champion, when he lost in Tokyo and all that, and we bring him back and became champion all over again. Yeah,
Yeah,
and a
that
lot of
story.
other champions. But yeah, so I'm glad that that's your favorite fighter. You're looking at being an undisputed ring announcer, and
Hey,
the undisputed ring announcer, meaning you're carrying all the weights and the belts on your shoulders. Ring announcer.
I'll do it for what we got. If we got whatever we got to do to keep boxing around and to keep people coming, I'm your girl. We're gonna do it.
Absolutely, and you're going to do a good job. So, in closing, um, is
Shout
there
out.
anything you want to say or anything you want to talk about?
Well, one, I want to shout out the original Sword and Shield Boxing Club. Thank you so much for the compliment. Um, and really, my closing remarks would be to you, Aaron. Thank you so much for having me on. It's really it's it's just a positive reinforcement to have people want me on their platform. I think that it's a huge deal. And I really appreciate you for highlighting me and helping me, achieve the dream. So I appreciate you. And to all the fans of boxing and to all the, coaches and boxers and themselves and everybody who's a supporter of the sport, thank you for helping me. It helps me. Boxing is saving me. It's literally something that I have been um finding joy and happiness through in these cold Detroit days. So I want to thank every
Yeah, it gets cold up there in Detroit.
oh my
That
goodness.
wind come off that water, it'll dump a ton of snow in an instant. So
Yes.
yeah, hey, look, and thank you for the compliment. You deserve to be on anyone's show. You are a class act. You're a real professional, and you're young. You got a lot of good qualities about yourself in the ring and outside the ring that speaks of character. All I have to say, young lady, keep carrying yourself in the way that you carry yourself. And in this sport, you're going to go a long way, and you will be one day. They're going to see you up in the ring announcing a big pay-per-view event, and that's right around the corner.
Okay. Well, you know what? We're gonna keep working and keep doing what we gotta do until then, in the meantime. But yeah, I am excited about the where boxing and professional boxing, at least in the United States, is going, because you got some real hitters coming up in this country through the amateur on the amateur side. So I'm excited to, just to continue to be a part and to contribute so that we can continue to put these athletes on the forefront.
All right. Well, in closing, we like to thank everybody and thank you, Miss Rico, for Rhyan, for coming on the World Boxing Review. And my name is Aaron Snowell. They call me the Hall of Fame Trainer of Champions. And we travel the world for past, present, and future stars. Thank you for tuning in.